What is up, you fantastically beautiful people, and welcome to what I guess is episode number 2. As of recording this, the first episode has just gone live on YouTube early today, and it's been met with so far good results, which is nice, and I appreciate everybody and their feedback, their participation, their viewership, you know, all of that. In this one, we're going to again probably go about 15-20 minutes, something like that. Just throw another teaser out there. In this one, I want to talk about my start in sort of like GTA. Maybe we'll even go all the way back to the start of my gaming. So my first console ever, gaming system, console, whatever you want to call it, was one of those old brick, what do you call them? Game Boys. That's it. Nintendo Game Boys. You know, you could play, there was a Spider-Man game on it, I think. A couple other things, but I think that was my first, like, legit, I don't even want to call it, is it a console? I don't know. That was my first one, right? And then that was early childhood, like 5-6 years old, I think. It progressed to my next one I didn't get until I think I was in maybe elementary school, I want to say. So we'd come to the United States at that point, and I was, however you are old, in like 4th, 5th grade, something like that. And I got a Nintendo 64, and my first game was GoldenEye. And I remember playing that, and there was the room where you went in, one of the missions, you went in and you blew up the gas tanks. I don't remember the game too much, other than I remember this part of it, right? And being like somebody that was, you know, in 4th, 5th grade, going there, boom, the suspense around it, all the gas coming out, having to get out, yada, yada, yada. Man, that scared the crap out of me as a little guy. But yeah, so that was my first gaming console. Obviously, the first thing was the Game Boy. First gaming console was the Nintendo 64, which I kept for a long, long time. I'm sure if I dug around in some boxes somewhere, I might still have it. Is it in working order? Probably not. But GoldenEye was then it. That progressed into playing things like FIFA. I remember playing FIFA 98, I think it was my dad. We got into Zelda together. We bought the Zelda strategy guides. I can't remember the magazine company that did them, but we bought the Zelda strategy guides, and our rule was, as we were playing through, we can't use the strategy guide for anything. We'd have to spend like an hour at least trying to solve one of the puzzles or something like that before we were allowed to look at the strategy guide. And he'd play an hour, I'd play an hour, he'd play an hour, I'd play an hour, and we'd just rock and roll through it. And that was a lot of fun. We played FIFA 98 together, doing that competitively, you know, against each other. And I lost nearly every game because I just got red cards for slide tackling the crap out of everybody. But that was it. I don't think, after Nintendo 64 came about, I think I kept that. I want to say I went from Nintendo 64 to PS2. I want to say, and I've owned more PlayStations, but a PS2 was probably the longest like running PlayStation console I ever had. And once I hopped to PS2, I think that was my introduction to the GTA series, which is obviously what a lot of y'all have come to know me through is GTA RP. The first GTA game I played was GTA 3. I didn't go back and play the first two, which were the top-down, like, real-time strategy games. I did eventually go back and play them, but I didn't play those until many, many years later. Probably Vice City San Andreas, something was out by then. By the time that, you know, I went back and actually played those. But my first introduction to GTA was GTA 3, and I remember playing it, and man, it was just that feeling. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be a gamer. That was the game for me that just cemented that I was going to be a gamer. So playing that was had a big influence on my what has now become gaming career. PS2, I want to say roughly, I'm getting the timeline a little mixed up, shall we say. But PS2, then I went into Xbox, Xbox 360, Xbox One. I want to say it's not over there actually anymore. It is around the corner here in my studio, but now I've got a Series X, which the only game I've played on that is MLB The Show. And I know The Show 23 has just come out, so we'll probably get that and play that a little bit. But that's literally the only game I've played on the Series X. I'm so into PC gaming now. I don't touch consoles. I bought it, I think, just to say I have it. When I've said that PlayStation's my PlayStation career really stopped with the PS2, it kind of did. I've owned a PS5, but that sat on my shelf unused pretty much from the time it came out until I sold it about a year or so ago. Year and a half ago, I sold it. It sat on my shelf. It was the most expensive copy of Call of Duty I ever bought. And I say that jokingly because that's the only game I ever played on it was whatever Call of Duty had come out at the time. So now we're going to backtrack a little bit into my start of PCs, right? So my first PC that was mine, I think I was in middle school, maybe high school, and a buddy of mine, I remember it was my birthday, it was either my birthday or Christmas or something like that, and my mother gave me a budget of $1,000, right? She said, here's $1,000, go build yourself a PC. And I had a good friend of mine that I met that I'd known since I came to the U.S. It was a good friend of mine, and he was really into computers, and he's way more on the techie side of things than I am. He said, all right, let's do this. So we built a gaming PC that I ended up keeping for years. I don't know what was in it. I don't know anything about it as far as parts and everything. I remember it still had I think it had a floppy drive in it. But that was my gaming PC for a long time. Probably through high school for sure. That was when I got into PC gaming. Obviously through the years I dabbled in console gaming and stayed up with it, until, we'll get to it. I don't want to jump ahead. But that was my first gaming PC, and it was back when you still had to have LAN parties and things like that. And man, we had some all-nighters. We would meet up at this guy's house. There'd be probably 6, 7, 8 of us that would show up. We'd bring our PCs. We'd connect them all to the router, and we'd go at it in Call of Duty for hours on end. And because my computer was the newest thing on the market, it was the host, because one of the PCs in the LAN party had to be the host. That was me. I annoyed the crap out of everybody because I wasn't good at the gunplay aspect of the game. And you watch me play GTA. You watch me play Call of Duty live, and you'll realize that I'm not good at the gun side of stuff. But you give me vehicles, you give me rocket launchers, you give me sticky grenades, stuff like that. I'm pretty good at that stuff. And that's what I was at in these original Call of Duties. You had to LAN party. I was the guy that would run around with a cooked grenade. I'd pop around a corner and either blow myself up on top of somebody else or lob the grenade at them, that sort of thing. And I remember distinctly, and if he ever watches this, he will, which hopefully he does, he'll remember the story that I'm going to tell. I was getting, it was Modern Warfare, the first one, I think. We were playing on the map Crossfire, and I spent time at home planning this out. I would figure out at the start of the maps where to aim the noob tube so that you could just lob it straight across the map at the start. And it was, the whole 3, 2, 1 round begins. And I got him like right out the gate. I got him. I remember he stood up, went over to this old box TV that we still had in the garage that we did these LAN parties in, and he kicked the crap out of it. And he was so mad that I had noob tubed him right out the gate, because I was pretty good at the noob tube and stuff. And he was so mad, he stood up, saw this TV, and kicked the mess out of it. And it's a story that we still talk about to this day. This was probably 20 odd years ago that this happened, and it's a story like I'll meet up with some of them, we'll go out and grab a drink or something like that nowadays, right? And we will still talk about that to this day. But like, man, you remember when so-and-so got up and kicked the TV because you noob tubed him? Yeah, that's one of my legacy gaming moments that'll stick around for forever. And then the other story from that era was when I think we were playing 4v2, maybe 4v2, 5v2, something like that, 5v3 maybe. There was 2 other guys that used to come there, and after this moment they stopped coming. Because the 2 guys that came were really good. Really, really good. So they decided to take on the rest of us, I think. So that's why I think it ended up being like 4v2 or 5v2 or something like that. Might have been like 6v3. It was something. It was stacked in the favor of the guys that were not good compared to these 2. And man, they were taking us to town, just beating us round after round. And we finally got one over on them in this game. We finally won. And it was a real close match, and we finally pulled it out. A dude gets up from his computer, unplugs the router because he was so mad that they lost, and packs his shit up and leaves. Never saw him again. I don't think, in life, I don't think I've seen him since that night, to be fair. People that know me IRL will know these stories, that know me as a gamer will know these stories and be like, man, you know what? I haven't heard of him either. The other guy involved stayed in touch with all throughout high school. Lost touch after high school, but still follow him on. I think we were on touch on Facebook or something like that. I might send him a link to this and be like, yo, dude, you'll want to pay attention to at least the first 13 odd minutes of it, right? Because we're talking stories from back in the day, and he'll remember it. He may not like it, but he'll remember it. And so those are some of the first entries into PC gaming. I kept that PC, like I said, right up until college, probably when I moved out, went to college. That was also when I got into World of Warcraft. That was huge for me. Was World of Warcraft. I became a full blown World of Warcraft addict. And played that sucker for years and years. I think I played that up until I'm 35 now. I probably played that up until I was like 30, 31, something like that. So I played it for years. When I say years, doing the whole 40-man raids, doing all that kind of stuff. So that PC that we bought way back in the day took me through all of that. Which was really cool. I enjoyed it. Then I've obviously, since GTA is my thing, GTA 3 being my first one, then it was Vice City, it was San Andreas, GTA 4, GTA 5 obviously. I got into the RP side of it. San Andreas, probably. San Andreas, I think, is when I got into the RP side of it. Mainly because it was LSPDFR, I think is what you could do then. LSPDFR. excuse me, was what the the thing was at the time. 5M didn't exist. If my memory serves me right, 5M doesn't exist until GTA 5 or 4. It might have been 4. Yeah, GTA 4. I think that was it. GTA 4. Yeah, anyways, I got it. Certainly, there was multiplayer LSPDFR kind of stuff there, and that's when my RP started going. I was always, a creative kid growing up, had a vivid imagination. So in the other GTAs, after you beat the story mode, it was kind of just like free roam, do whatever, right? So I'd always, in my imagination, imagine doing X, Y, and Z and playing it out and having that kind of fun stuff. But once I got a hold of LSPDFR, I was like, man, yes, this is my cup of tea. And that, has continued on into GTA 5 and 5M and where everybody else finds me now. And it's just sort of blossomed from there. I've turned it into what it is. I'm on Twitch, YouTube, Kick, Instagram, TikTok. You name it, you can find me anywhere now, and I'm repping the GTA 5 RP world. I would like to think nobly, hopefully. That's sort of like the progression of my console PC gaming, sort of how we ended up here. I got into various other games on, various other times. I was part of the Halo community when the original Halo came out on the original Xbox, when you still had to LAN party those together. And we were lucky with, a lot of us had Xboxes at the time. So we could, we'd all show up again at these LAN parties, and we'd start bringing our Xboxes with us. And we'd connect them together, and we'd have TVs, and we did it cool where we had TVs facing different directions, so you couldn't, screen snipe each other. I didn't like having to play split screen with anybody. I don't enjoy that. I don't care if my screen is minuscule, right? I want to play by myself. Because I want to be able to focus on that. I don't want to see the screen split and, whatever's on the bottom half doing something totally different. So I never enjoyed that. So if I was lucky enough to get a TV by myself, yeah, buddy. It was great. Playing what is, I think that map was Blood Gulch, I want to say it was. I'm thinking it was that because I remember watching Red versus Blue. I don't even know if those guys are still doing that show. If they are, freaking awesome. I love it. But I remember watching Red versus Blue, and that was fun. So I enjoyed the earlier parts of Halo, but once I got into Call of Duty, and more specifically hardcore Call of Duty, the game modes, it was that was it for me. Halo, gone. Mainly because I love hardcore game modes. You hold the old concept of like one shot, one kill, awesome, because for somebody like me that's not good at staying on a target and slinging that leg down range in a game, the hardcore game mode was awesome for me. So I fell out of love with Halo probably around Halo 3, whenever Bungie separated from Halo. That was kind of the end for me. I'm trying to think of other games that are like notable landmarks. We've talked about the original GoldenEye being the first like game console thing that I had. My World of Warcraft addiction. World of Warcraft is actually where I met some of my best friends in real life, become real friends. Any of y'all that ever watch my live streams will see one of my mods pop in there. His name's Aothan. He's the only one that pops in now that has the first tag next to his name. He's one of the original, if not the original, subs on my Twitch channel. I've known that dude now for probably 15 plus years. something like that. You know, we were at each other's weddings. You know, I was there when his kid was born, the whole 9 yards, and that all blossomed from video gaming, which is a blast. And so shout out to you, AO, if you're watching it. You know, it's video gaming's done a lot for me in life, and hopefully this has been an interesting, you know, intro backstory, you know, sort of behind the scenes how WhoFlung got started. Maybe future episodes will do, you know, a breakdown of character development for, you know, my Deputy Do guy versus, as everybody knows him now, Eddie Crinkletoes, and the stark differences between those two. And we'll do an evolution of my my GTA streaming / content creating life might be in the next one. So we're hitting the end of this one. Hopefully y'all have enjoyed it. I appreciate the feedback that I've gotten from the first one. So more of the same of this one. I would really appreciate it. You know, there's gonna be links to the Discord down below. We still got to name this thing. All right. So at the moment it's unnamed. So I want y'all to be a part of that. Name it down below in the Discord. Also, we're on a road to 10,000 followers on Twitch. We hit 9.1 last night. At the end of that, at 10,000, we're gonna do a giveaway. So hopefully we'll see y'all there for that. Until then, guys, I appreciate every one of y'all stopping by. I will catch y'all in the next one. Peace out, y'all.